relationship, me not paying rent was not an issue.
That's incorrect.
Daddy, please. I have my own independent means. Him.
All rise for Judge Joe Brown.
Whoa.
Experience, knowledge, and a passion for the truth.
I'm protecting womanhood and promoting manhood.
Bringing no-nonsense justice to Americans everywhere.
If you listen, you may learn something.
It's time for Judge Joe.
The damage caused at a New Year's Eve bash makes it an unhappy New Year's Day. Air National Guardsman Justin Hempfling suing his ex-girlfriend for security deposit and rent. Defendant Michelle Martin says she was not on the lease. Now it's Joe time.
This is a dispute between former roommates. I don't think you were boyfriend and girlfriend when you moved in, but eventually you became such. You say the defendant lost her job, stopped paying the rent, lived there for free for 7 months, and you got stuck with having to lose one half of the security deposit. Your defense is you were never on the lease, and you paid for food and utilities, so you owe nothing.
That's
Something like that?
Yes.
Okay. You first. How does all this get to this point?
Okay, Judge Joe Brown, I actually met the defendant a few years ago, but became reacquainted with her in early of 2009. We both were kind of living in the same area, and we saw each other, had the same friends pretty much, same social circles.
Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, we had met each other, and we're talking about what we were doing with our lives, like where we were going, and she told me that she was going to be attending a university in Richmond. We ended up discussing what we were going to do, and she said that at that time she didn't want to live in the dorms, and so I told her that we could possibly live together. She thought that was a great idea, and we ended up, discussing what all we needed to do. And I was a little reluctant at first because, her being so young, I didn't know if she was
18 at the time,
Yes,
and you
correct.
were 22.
Correct.
All right.
So I didn't know if she was going to be a responsible tenant, but we ended up finding an apartment, and the landlord said that the only requirement was that we pay first month's rent and the security deposit.
Did the landlord know about her occupancy?
Yes, sir. She ended up signing the contract or promissory note, but we ended up...
There's no, for that, that's a per paragraph 4. There's no place to list any authorized adult occupant.
He never made us agree to writing, sir.
Okay.
So as a result, we ended up living together, and things were fine for the first couple months. I would say for the first 4 months, things were great. We actually decided to pursue a relationship within the second month that we were living together, and the relationship was fine. It was great. It was phenomenal. Everything, the move-in process, everything was easy. The apartment stayed pretty clean, and so I assumed that that's how it was going to be the entire time. Her payments were done in like an expeditious manner, and then we sort of ran into trouble in a disastrous sort of turn of events around the middle of the 4th month. Miss Martin ended up losing her job. And because of that, she told me not to worry. She said that her parents would be able to make up for whatever it is that she wouldn't be able to pay.
No, I never said that.
But
Well,
Prior to us moving in, he knew that my parents would not be helping me out at all. He knew that I was living off of student loans and graduation money.
were you working?
Yes, I was working until I was laid off, and I am now working again.
You were 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Did your parents assume that you were going to have some roof over your head while you were attending school?
Yes, they did assume that, but
How was that to be taken care of? You were in what, dorms?
no, my dad wouldn't pay for anything since I wasn't living in the dorms.
Look here, dear daughter, if you want to stay in the dorms, that's fine, but you need to devote time, sufficient time, and application to your studies. If you want to stay out in an apartment and party, I'm not going to do that. So if you done what Dad suggested to you, you would have been a nice dorm resident instead of being out someplace where you couldn't pay the tab. Why didn't you go to the dorms?
Well, my father's and my relationship doesn't really have anything to do with the case, Your Honor.
What do you mean it doesn't? See, before you get arrogant, why are we talking about getting an apartment instead of keeping your behind in the dorms where you need to be? You know, you should listen to your father since he would have been paying the tab.
Well, you are
However,
right.
this one got him a job, so he's paying the rent out of his job. So I can't fight that. By the way, are you still in school?
Yes, I have a 3.65 GPA.
So are you a sophomore?
Yes, I'll be a junior actually next semester.
Very good. At 19, that's not bad.
Yes.
What ended up happening, sir, is around the 4-month mark, and after Miss Martin lost her job, I started noticing things that most people would notice when you start to get in a relationship with someone. She was unkempt. She constantly was unable to clean. She was unable to clean. She didn't do her part pretty much while we were living together. Her room was always a mess. And our living space together was always a mess. The living room was...
That's today's world.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
Justin was like a child through the time of us living together. He couldn't pack his own bags whenever he had to go on like his little TDY things. If he's as upset as he apparently is about the situation to bring me to court, he could have kicked me out then.
Times are hard. Money is